Rah rah, my Writhing Beast Hulks. It's Mansant, and today we have an amazing achievement to add to the League of Levia. Because that's right, Levia has won her first ever Road to Nationals, and it was brought to you by none other than a fabulous community member we have here at the League of Levia, Bridgy. Bridgy, say hello.
Hey Ethan, thanks for having me on. I'm honored and excited to be here to be talking to you. Still a little displeased I could still pull something like this off. It's nuts. I'm ecstatic.
Oh, we're all super excited for you. The whole world over to add your name to that living legend Levia leaderboard. A lot of L's. But huge congrats, my friend. And I really can't wait to dig into this win and hear the tumultuous saga of your run firsthand. So before all that, though, why don't you tell the league a little bit about yourself, who you are, and how you got into playing Levia?
Well, my name's Devon. I'm from a small little city in Ontario called St. Thomas. I'm actually living it currently in Halifax. Moved here 8 years ago. Love the East Coast. Great spot to live. Um, I got into Flesh and Blood around September last year. I went home, visited some friends and family, and my one good buddy, he was trying to get me into this game for a few months now because we played a couple games like Magic and whatnot. I grew up with TCGs, so like I love them. But he had me pick out a BlitzCon deck from the Monarch packs he had, and I happened to pick Levia because she looked amazing. Her art was great.
Look at
Like
her. Look at her. She looks
I
gorgeous. Love this.
totally, yeah, she
Uh,
looks badass.
I mean, you can't see her face. It is kind of the crotch area right here, but I promise she's.
That's all you need.
There you go. There you
Yeah, yeah, and I happened to destroy him. He was playing Bolton. I mean, it's a pretty bad blitz deck, but I still just like it got me right into the game. And then he happened to say I could take it home to play in the armories, so I took it home and upgraded it, and that's been the way I got into her.
go.
I
Awesome.
got actually when it came back, I bought a box of Monarch because I wanted some upgrades for it, and I actually pulled the Doomsday, which I know is a similar story
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that how you got into her, but it's really ironic, and yeah, she was my main ever since.
That's fate, baby. Yeah, that's exactly what happened in my end. It was that Blitz deck got me that first little hook. Then opening a Doomsday, thinking that pulling a legendary is all this money in your hand. Look at that, and then it turns out Doomsday is like a $30 card, but it slots right into our deck, so I was pretty happy with that. But awesome. So look, so this event, the event you took down, the first ever first place Levi RTN. How did you decide on taking Levi to this event specifically? Because these RTNs, a lot of pressure on the line. A lot of people get a little worried about taking a deck like ours to these events. So, what's that story?
Well, the two heroes I really play are Levia and Bolton. Funny enough, I've played Levia longer. I've just had more success with Bolton, but I knew if anybody brought Icelander or any type of ice to the RTN, I would have been ruined. So I decided to gamble and just play a hybrid version of Levia, Nervash's list actually. I really enjoy the Blood Debt, but I just knew the variance on playing that was just too risky to play at a high level. I thought personally, and
I can coach you on the side on that one, but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
okay. It's
Well, I'm
okay.
gonna have to grab a couple tips from you now after that second place finish you had.
Next video. Next
Um,
video.
yeah, totally. But I was yeah, morning of the RTN. I was super nervous, so I was going through my deck list and counting it all. Decided to take out my sideboard, which was the Blood Debt part, and I also had two Arg Smashes because there's two good dashes in my meta that I thought might play dash, but yeah, I took it out, counted it on my table. Next thing you know, I'm walking there. I get there and I'm filling out my deck list at the store, and I'm like, uh-oh, I only have my 60 card debt plus my equipment. So I was like kind of sweating a little bit. Decided to just play it out, see how it turned out, and it worked out. Funny enough, grabbed an extra piece of null rune from a buddy of mine and just gambled.
Wait, wait, sorry, the microphone. So you didn't have like probably around 15 cards like missing from your deck. Did you replace them on the fly, or you just went with like basically cracked baubles, like just nothing? Or
I just went with nothing. I just ripped my deck out, and I was like, "We'll see how she goes." And I had a lot of information on like what was going to happen if I put the cards in and I didn't have them. So I was just like, "I'm just not going to put them in. I'm just going to
oh,
play it as is, and hopefully it will turn out for the best." I
that
know.
is that's quite the Levia saga. I mean, we're all a little scrambled in the head, but that one's like that's very different than what
But
I thought you were gonna say. Wait, so the part was missing. The part that was missing was the blood debt. So you basically were running what like a like kind of club build, but still had blood rush in. Is that what
yeah,
you were stuck with?
yeah, a club build with Blood Rush, and I actually had three Deadwood Rumblers, and I decided to go with three Boneyard Marauders too. Is that what they're called? I'm
The
blanking on
one
the names.
cost, the one cost,
The
yeah,
one
boneyard.
cost, I love it, I love it. And I was like, you know
Mm.
what? I'm gonna gamble. Hopefully, not hit any of the blood debt I have. I just pitched all the Deadwoods so I wouldn't freaking banish them until the late game. And yeah, it just happened to work out. It's pretty nutty. My buddies are all calling me no sideboard now because they're making fun of me for it. But then they're like, if you actually win without it, this is nuts.
God. Well, that's quite the story. I hope that makes its rounds around that Levia not only doesn't need Romping Club to win. Damn, she can do it with Bone Basher. She doesn't even need a sideboard to win now. She can do it with that one. So I mean, next probably just run no weapon. Like who knows? Like we'll keep
Exactly.
overcoming these hurdles. That's crazy. Well, okay, cool intro on that. What was this event like? What's the tenor of your store? Like how competitive is it? And how did how'd you jump into the Swiss rounds? If you want to tell that story.
Well, my RTN was held at a shop called Monster Comic Book Lounge. I usually play there every Wednesday. It's my Armories event, and it was the only RTN in our area, so I thought it was actually going to be bigger than predicted. But it was actually smaller than predicted, and there was a bunch of people that didn't actually come out that I thought were going to come out. Some really good players too, like they live probably like 40 minutes away. I don't know why they didn't come out. I know gas is expensive and whatnot. Maybe they had plans. I'm not sure, but yeah, we only had 10 people, so I know it's a smaller RTN. Um, uh, it should have been 16 though, and the guy judging, is actually a really good Prism. So I was really glad that he was judging. I dodged a bullet on that one.
Yeah, Dodge Scabskins dot game. That's always
Yeah,
fun.
totally. So there was three fives, a Prism, an Oldhim, a Dromai, a Lexi, a Cactu, a Briar, and then me as Levia.
Wow. That's a great metagame. You should invite me out on that one. I would totally
Yeah.
play that. Um, very cool. Very interesting. I mean, Fi right out the gate being the most represented of the new heroes kind of makes sense. But I would have expected Viscerai or more Briar in that pool. So pretty unique. Pretty unique. So how
Yeah,
did
like
the Swiss end up then? Who'd you face?
so for the first round, I faced Dromai, and the Dromai player, he was an outstanding player. He's just recently new into the game and got into it because of Dromai. So he didn't really have everything he should have, but he played exceptionally well.
Mm.
And basically, for all the rounds, I was rolling scabs as much as possible until I broke my gamblers. For this first game, it was probably the worst outcome, but first opening turn, I get the draw to choose to go first. And I roll my gamblers, and I break them right on turn one. And I'm like, this is probably the worst outcome that could have happened.
Hmm.
So but yeah, we go back and forth. It was a close game, and then it was going to time, and I happened to win off a swing big pummeled, and yeah, it was the last turn of the game, and I just pulled through.
We love that. Pummel is super cheese, super great, and
Oh
everyone
yeah,
hates that we run nine of it. So
yeah, totally. It's so strong, and
very.
like the fact that they have to discard when it counts is just so good. Like the second round was a Phi, and I actually lost. I blundered and forgot about Heat Wave boosting a Phoenix Flame, and I
Mm.
had two health. He had one, and I think I was holding a Blood Rush I basically had a blood rush turn, and I was like, I can definitely pull through with this. But then I didn't block, and he was like heat wave, and I was like, oh no. So I
Mm,
lost that game because of that.
it's all
And
right.
then
It
that
happen. You won't. It won't happen again. Right? Like that's
no,
just how it
totally. I
was.
just like heat wave. Like there's no way. Like I didn't even clue in. I was just so into the zone, so fixated on like almost having him. I'm like, this is going so well.
Mhm.
And I find Phi actually pretty easy for Levia
I was
personally.
surprised. Yeah, but like initial testing, I was trying like just full fatiguing Fi, and it was horrible. Turns out if you race Fi, you're actually like totally in it. I
Uh,
His damage is pretty vanilla, and the only like real hit effects are mask. So if you just play to interrupt the draw, then you're just trading better damage than him because that's like what Levi is supposed to do incrementally, right? Um,
yeah,
and then you
exactly.
just force blowouts on Blood Rush, whereas they don't really get the blowout unless you let them with masks. So yeah, it's actually been pretty decent to
That's
race.
that's all I was saying to myself. Don't let the mask proc. Like block every third. Like don't make the mistake of blocking the weapon because it won't block or trigger the mask. Like
Mm.
I was just kept repeating that over and over.
That's actually a very good tip to throw in there. I always forget about that one, but it's true. The weapon doesn't trigger mask. It just adds to the
Yeah,
chain. So, big tip. Big tip.
exactly.
Mm.
Because yeah, one game in one of my armories like last week, I was like, I'm gonna block this, and he's just like, well, I'm gonna come in and now I get my mask trigger, and I'm like, oh no, like I thought, oh man. But yeah, lost that one, so I was 1-1 at the time. Going into round three, I played a Briar,
Mm.
one off pummel. He didn't draw his channel mount heroic. That was pretty nice, and yeah, the pummels just were too much for him, and I pulled through.
Beauty of Pummel. Yep.
Yeah,
Was it only 4 rounds then? So next round is your last round? Yeah,
yeah. It
okay.
was only 4 rounds,
Makes
and
sense.
then the last round, I played another Phi, which I think was personally the best player of the tournament. So I've hardly beat this guy ever, like once, maybe twice, and I knew I was going to have a time. So when I played him, I lost again. I think the game was close, but I knew he was going to win because he just ended up going so wide, and I couldn't block at all, and then I had nothing to swing back with, and he had momentum, and that was basically the game. So
Oh, so
just to,
that was a 2-2 finish into top 8 cut they still did or was it top 4 cut?
yeah, it was top eight. Yeah,
They did.
it's only
Wow, okay.
yeah, it was pretty nice. I was actually kind of worried. I was asking asking around how other people did, and I guess there's 2 1-3s. So I was like, I think I'm making the top eight. Is nice. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, just don't be the bottom 2 in that scenario. Right. Well, cool. So I mean at that point, had your blunders, but you learned. You're in the cut now at I assume, somewhere in the lower seeds, so you don't always get to choose first or second in that kind of situation, but you're still probably feeling pretty good. I mean, what did it feel on your end though? Like were the nerves there? Did you feel like your second shot you were just going to take the whole thing?
I was super nervous and I did not
Mm.
think that at all. I was like, I'm just glad I made the top eight, to get some kind of cold foil prize or whatever, and I just happened to pull through. I couldn't believe that I made it on. Um, there was a prism and an old hum, and I was just crossing my fingers, just being like, "Don't play those two. Don't play those two. I
Mm.
don't have my sideboard, my anti-prism sideboard." And the week before, I actually got fatigued by the old him, so I just really didn't want to play him because he
Right.
was another great player. One wins a lot of armories too, and I just was like, please, fingers crossed again. Just stay away from them.
Right. Yeah, especially the hybrid build as I've played it does just have a harder time into Oldhim because you're not as aggressive as you could be to go over the top of like the Howl loop and all that. You're just not running it. And then you don't have the insane like late game concentration or barragings that like pure club has. So yeah, if there's a lot of Oldhims, that's definitely another scary matchup. And then like you just said with the whole sideboard thing, you just gave yourself a bad matchup in Prism.
Yeah,
So that's a wow. Yeah, that cut wasn't looking too friendly then. But you did win the whole thing. So how was that run then? What was top 8 for you?
So before we started the top eight, I actually had to work in around like an hour and 20 minutes, an hour and a half. And I was kind of like sweating a little bit. I was like, I just want to play this round, see how it goes, and I'll call my boss, tell him what's up, and maybe I'll be able to work something out. So we took a 20-minute break, and I was like, oh no, like this isn't
Oh.
what I need. I want to get into the game, get the win, get the loss, figure out what's going to happen.
Mhm.
But yeah, we took the break. Some people got food. I was just like, oh man, hopefully we can finish. And I lucked out. For the first round, I fought Alexi, and I've done
Mhm.
my research on Lexi because she's given me some tough times in the past with Bolton. I'm like, how do I even beat her? And the only way to physically beat her as Bolton is to fatigue her arrows. So I was thinking that's what I'm gonna do if it comes down to it. I was just chipping damage as much as possible. He got his three of a kinds real early, so I just knew I had to weather that storm. And
Mhm.
then after that, I might be able to pull something off. Got off a pummel here and there, but then I fatigued him by the end of the game
Mhm.
because those games aren't timed, right? I
No,
didn't
no.
know
Top
that
Cut's not
personally.
timed. Yeah.
I didn't. I see. I've never played anything like this, so I didn't know that, and I was just like, "All right, fatigue it is. I'm going for it." So yeah, I ran him out of arrows, and then yeah, it was basically GG after that.
Was it ice or lightning or some
It was
mix?
a, it was a straight ice.
Oh, straight. Oh, yeah. That one is easier to go for because they never go as wide, and
Yeah,
just kind of kill you mid game like lightning can.
yeah.
So yeah,
So he
clean win. Good job. Yeah, that's the
yeah
strat.
he plays his chilling ice vein or whatever, and I'm just like, well, I'm just gonna block everything because I'm gonna have to discard it all anyways. Like,
Mm,
give me frost bites, I'll just block everything. Like, and then yeah, pulled through.
well done. Yeah, and the beauty as well is if you're just going through the rounds with like one frostbite, pitch blue, you still club, you still land
Yeah,
a lot and just trip them down. I like
totally.
that matchup. It's very unfun for them, but it's
Yeah,
pretty
I
free.
know.
Cool. So then top 4, you couldn't play another Lexi. Was it?
Yeah, so top four, I actually called up my the manager that was working that night for where I work in the restaurant industry. And I was like, well, I'm going to the top four. Like, is there any way there was a guy that was basically covering my open because I was playing in this tournament. And I'm
Mhm.
like, is there any way he can just do like another hour of work? And he did some talking. He
Wow, you
somehow
really didn't
sweet
think
talk.
you were gonna make it further than that. You just asked for an
No,
hour.
yeah, I was like, I just need an hour, and he sweet talked my buddy into working longer, which was super cool. And it was a really fast game, actually. Like
Mm.
this top four there, I played the same Briar I beat before, and but he got some. I think he got one, or was it two Channel Mount Heroics? I can't remember now, but he got those off, and I knew I just had to block everything I can,
Mm.
and I somehow, yeah, beat him again with pummels. Like I just got him discarding, and then he wasn't able to go wide, and his turns fizzled out. So he'd just arsenal, and then I'd keep momentum, and keep the pummels going. Their race faces, they didn't really do much. Oh no, they did a little bit. They cut off his go agains with the lightning and whatnot, but
Mm.
CNC was a big part too.
Oh yeah, just
Um,
forcing any hit effect seals it. So well, sweet. At this point though, I mean, you already had your Road to Nats invite or the invite for nationals rather. So geez, just Cloud9 already, and then you take out the top 4 opponent, and now you're in finals, which
and
only so few of us have done. So I mean, at this, do you still have nerves? Where's the confidence? You got to get that kicking.
Well, it was funny because the guy I was playing, he was like, "You beat me. They're gonna write an article about you. You're gonna want to, man, Saint's gonna want to talk to you." And look where I am now, and I can't believe it. Like it was just so surreal. But I played the Fi. I lost to in the fourth round. The best player. Like I thought he
Mhm.
was actually gonna win again. He is so good. But I just kept saying to myself, "Don't let the mask trigger." just don't let the mask trigger, and then
Hmm.
take the damage when I can. And I actually had the best draws of the whole tournament in that game. It was pretty surreal. Even the judge was looking at my hands and being like, "Holy smokes!" And I kept getting pummels every other hand, erase
Oof,
face in
beautiful.
between,
Oof.
CNCs, like it was nuts. And the play lines were great. I think in the end, it was the game wasn't even that close. It was like 24-4, and yeah, I just like pulled away, and yeah, I pulled through and got the win. It was so surreal. Like I was just so
Incredible.
ecstatic and happy. Like
Well, see, and we can all be happy with you as well for now. But if more of you start winning these events, we need to slow down a little bit because if
yeah,
Levia Living Legends, like, what happens here?
exactly.
I
That'd be
don't know. I have
terrible.
no life.
Oh,
But hey,
yeah. Who do you play next?
God, I guess I'll just be a young Levia one trick after that. Uh, but that's insane. I mean, you did it. What no one else has done yet. Now there are three of us who have got our names on that living legend board for our girl, and that's at least. I mean, that's like you said, just surreal for all of us, the whole League Levi here. But now you got that Nats invite. You got a win under your belt, taking down some really good players. What do you think about the Nationals event itself? Would you play Levi again, or even thinking about it at all?
I think I really think I would stick to Levia. I don't have as many reps with Bolton, and I know he's probably not that good into this meta. So Levia, I've played since the start. I've lost a lot with her. I've won a few games here and there, but I love her so much. And after this win, I think I will stick to her. Try and it's in Canada. Our road to nationals is in Ottawa.
It's actually
So
pretty close to me now. I was wondering how to sneak into it, but I don't think it's possible. I, but it would
that'd
be
be
cool.
awesome. Yeah, and two Levi's battling in the end.
Ooh, love to see it.
But my family's actually back in Ontario too, so that'd be another benefit of me going. So I'll go to Ottawa, which my one buddy wants to come up and meet me, and play some games, warm me up, play some of the side events, and then we'd have a good weekend playing some Flesh and Blood, and then I'd go visit some family and friends after that, which would be so awesome.
Oh, these weekends of Flesh and Blood are just. I mean, it they're just such amazing events to look forward to for exactly what you said. It's the friends, it's the excitement, it's the games on the side, not necessarily even the games on the day, right? So awesome. When you get these wins, you just get to keep the train going, go to the next event, have more fun, have some people recognize you. Oh, you're that guy. Like
Yeah,
that's gonna be you now. So pretty cool
yeah,
stuff.
we'll see, we'll see. I mean, it's amazing to think about.
But hey, thanks for joining. Me here for the League of Eyes. Put your name out there, putting your information out there. But just to wrap it up, and there's obviously some things that went wrong with your deck list. But if you had to go back and specifically change some things about the deck you played, is there any tips you'd give to the viewers here? Any suggestions on building their own Leviah brews?
See, I'm not as calculated as like you or some other people like Nirvash and some other guys in the Discord. I actually, you guys influence me so much. Like mentors to me. Like I just learned so much from your guys' builds that you link all the time and watching the theory crafting and all that stuff. But yeah, I don't really know. Like for me, I had a couple yellow pitches in there instead of reds because I was kind of worried about ice. But overall, yeah, I'm not really sure. Like I threw in this rounds on me over High Roller because I knew I was going to be playing Illusionists and Ninjas.
Love that
So
card.
I kept that in. And Oasis Respite, I tried the week before, but I wasn't really set on it. Like I know it's so great for Rosetta, like Rune Blades, but like the whole one cost, I was like, do I just take the chance and try and swing back for more damage, or yeah, there's still so much stuff I need to learn. So many like I gotta watch more of your videos.
Hey, well, as you can see on my end, we're finally in the setup, finally fully moved in. So there's going to be a lot more consistent releases, hopefully. Just more games, more decks, all the goodies. So, this is the start of that whole new chapter. So you've been
Perfect, because
instrumental. First video
I,
in the new place. Look at that.
I I totally need it. I also used Boneyard instead of Hungering Slaughter Beasts. I would have used the yellow ones again for the pitch, but Boneyards, I just feel like I don't know, it's just me, but the one cost. Yeah, so the Boneyard, it's a one cost, so like it's great for the tunic and just like yeah, having one resource. Um and then also actually with the blue, I like the scab skins. I can scab skins into a romping club if I really need be. I mean, put push a little bit more damage. That was just something I thought about, but I don't know if it's worth it or not. Maybe I'll switch to Hungering
You got to
Slaughter
have some
Beast.
more
No,
confidence because,
yeah,
you did it. So now you get to say, hey, every time you have a boneyard and a blue in hand, you roll scabs.
yeah,
You can just
totally.
say that now.
Scabs didn't let me down that day. They were great to me. So you're
Great.
definitely a big reason I won too, which I don't know if I brought up, but that was my dice rolling skills that day were on point.
Awesome. Well, hopefully that is true for all of us Levias going forward, because baby, like I said, we want those points. We got to get all the league members' names on that board, and then just stop, and then we'll be good. Don't get her living legend. So, yeah, really, thanks again for joining me here, Devon. You've now earned the rank of Shadow Incarnate on the League of Levia Discord. Links below. For anyone who wants to join, like Devon said, deck lists are always shared out there. Everyone's ready to help each other. It's the whole point of why we share the information we do. We want more people to celebrate and enjoy this hero and, overcome some of that stress that she really takes to play, like Devon did here on the day. So, give us a join down there. We'd love to have you as part of the league. And, we've got a lot of great players like myself, Nervash, and now Devon, Shang Tsung out of Taiwan. A lot of great people. So once again, Devon, thanks for joining me here. I had a great time talking with you, and hopefully the League of Levi members did as well.
Hey, thanks so much, Ethan. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Yeah, catch you guys in the next one.
See ya.